Battleline Podcast, really exciting episode to get into that we actually just recorded with Alex Hargrove, Vietnam Navy vet, CV, proud of his service, as he should be, that I ran into moving here to Connecticut. For the new listeners who are checking this out for the first time, and I'm going to mention this because it happens every time, there's a delay, and it always sounds like Tonto is stepping over me. So I don't know if you want to pause, because the audience is probably like, why does this happen every time? But it's just the delay. But my name is Ian Scotto.
My name is Kris Tonto.
All right. Yeah. And every week on this show, we interview people like special operations military veterans, the occasional rock star like Jason Rao, and in this case, Vietnam vets like Alex Hargrove. So before we get into that, I got to tell you, before I started taking Ned, I had a ton of issues with sleeping, with falling asleep, with getting a good night's sleep, remembering dreams, getting in that deep delta sleep. And that's why I really stand behind their latest sleep supplement, which is their best-selling sleep blend, new and improved, offering an even greater night's sleep. So this new formulation blends CBN, a powerful cannabinoid that promotes sleep, with 750 milligrams of USDA-certified organic CBD from the purest single-source hemp flower extract and organic and wild-crafted botanicals traditionally used for sleep. And unlike a lot of the competition out there, they're not importing crap from China. This is all from right here in Colorado. The new sleep blend actually has 24% more sleep-inducing botanicals by weight than the previous version. So if you've checked out the previous version, you got to check out this, especially if you had success. You're going to like this even greater. Full transparency, as always, with Ned. They share third-party lab reports, who farms their products, and their extraction process, all right there on the site. They have over 2,000 five-star reviews. They work with medical professionals. So check them out, guys. And this is a great month to do so. It's Ned's birthday month. So if you'd like to give their new and improved sleep blend a try, Battleline listeners get 21% off this month, only this month, with the code Battleline. That's just for the month of March. It's their best offer of the year. So do it. Visit helloned.com/Battleline to get access. That's HELLONED.com/Battleline to get 21% off. Thank you, Ned, for sponsoring the show and offering our listeners a natural remedy for some of life's most common health issues. This show is also sponsored by BioPro. If you're 35 years or older, you're going to want to check them out. If you currently feel like you're lacking that primal motivation, drive, energy you used to have, if you feel like you want more out of life and to improve your performance in the gym and the bedroom, here's the deal. Every year after puberty, your growth hormone decreases, sometimes by 50% by the age of 35, and it only keeps going down from there, unfortunately. It doesn't matter how in shape you are, how good your diet is, it's happening to every one of us. So that's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus is the first of its kind. It's 100% non-synthetic, and it's alternative to prescription HGH growth hormone treatments. It immediately replaces what your body is no longer getting, and it does it naturally, without the needles, no side effects, no expensive cost of the typical synthetic growth hormone treatment. So if you want to fix your performance in the gym, bedroom, chronic fatigue, pain, even just how you look in the mirror, you got to check them out. Kris, you've been having awesome results. And zero side effects.
No side effects, guys. I am your guinea pig when it comes to testing new stuff, new products out there. And this is one that, I took a chance on. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. And I'm, again, on this show, we're both against growth hormones and synthetics, as far as steroids and things. And so, I was a little skeptical, but it has been outstanding. I am better in the gym, and I'm better in the bedroom now, not because I don't have the protein, I didn't get enough nutrients, it's just my body wasn't processing efficiently because of low testosterone, because I'm older. I'm 51 years old. And this has actually brought everything full circle. We talk about Ned on the show, which is tremendous. We talk about Bub's Naturals on the show, which is tremendous. Well, BioPro now has put it all together where my body is processing things efficiently, where I'm using all those natural supplements that I get from food and from the other supplements that we use to get stronger, to get better recovery, and to be better in my libido, better in the bedroom. So you guys, BioPro has been tremendous. It works. And I am seeing the results. And I said, my recovery's awesome. I'm able to run and work out every day. And like I said, if you haven't listened to last show, I can actually jump on the trampoline and do flips without my back going out on me because I've gotten stronger and I've got more energy and my joints don't hurt. And that is a testament to BioPro, along with our other sponsors that we have, Bubs and Net. But BioPro's tremendous, guys. You got to try them. Check it out. It works. It definitely works. And if you have any questions about anything, go on their site and a window will pop up and you can ask them questions and they will be transparent with you. Just ask them and find out what the product is before you start it. And then once you start it, though, you're going to want to continue it forever. It really are.
Yep. Check them out, guys. You need to go to bioproteintech.com. Battleline Podcast listeners receive $30 off by using the code Battleline at checkout while supplies last. Once again, bioproteintech.com. $30 off when you use the promo code Battleline at checkout.
From Omaha, Nebraska to New York City, from planet Earth to extraterrestrial life in space, a podcast with no equal, engaged in unconventional warfare through your speakers and headphones. This is a show about embracing the suck, conquering your demons, and finding God in the face of adversity. Kris Tonto Peranto.
Twitch is on. Motherfucker, I'm going to shoot you in the face.
Ian Scotto.
You know, Ian and I have been dating for a long time.
You are now tuned into the Battleline Podcast.
This is from my first tour in Vietnam.
Oh, that's cool.
This is the first book. And this one here is the second one.
That's cool.
From my second tour of Vietnam. And I was just showing Ian like some of the...
open it up. What's inside?
Yeah, okay, well, this is what it looks like. This is what the first book looked like.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it really well.
And it shows where we were, MCB 62.
Yeah, yep, I can see, yeah.
That's where we were, up near the DMZ.
Wow.
That's in Way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, because while I was up there, I was in Dong Ha, I was in the Kaesons.
Oh wow.
You know,
yeah.
And that was with during that time, that was with the 3rd Marine Division. We were there.
Yep. That's all.
And then also you can see how close we were to Laos.
Yeah.
So like they had us go to Laos
Yeah.
to do some stuff, you know. And during that time, that's why I got my first Bronze Star, because like they had me go in with a D8 dozer and to clear land for special forces, you know, for like what do they call that?
Well, you're doing
fire.
You're doing when you did that's like kind of Pathfinders. Where they used to call it, and it's no longer anymore. I don't know what they call it, but you're doing Pathfinder stuff. You're doing
fire bases and stuff.
Yeah,
like
where you're figuring out LZs, and you're doing the big thing. You're doing the engineer stuff, but doing DZs and LZs. When it's smaller on the SF side or infantry side, that's what Pathfinders are. But that's on those are small. That's like doing expedient LZs and DZs. Yeah. You're doing the big base building. That's engineer stuff. That's
Well, Kris, I'll keep all this because it's too good.
Yeah.
So Alex only has like 40 minutes with us. I know he's got to go to the doctor's after.
Yeah.
So
let's do it. Let's get it going. Yeah.
Let's get right into everything. So I'm keeping all that though for you guys because it's too good. So joining us for the first time on the podcast is Alex Hargrove, Navy Vietnam veteran with multiple deployments, fought in the Tet Offensive, which took place in 1968. Yeah. I know your health was impacted by Agent Orange, and I'll give a quick intro to how this happened for the audience that was kind of in the home studio. Is that, as some of you guys know, I just moved into this building in Connecticut. And, you know, I try to say hi to people and I see your background, your car, and also all the stuff you wear with the Vietnam veteran stuff, which I know you're proud of that chapter of your life.
Yeah.
And we just had her, and I was thinking to myself, we got to get this guy on. And Kris knows we had a recent, last minute cancellation. And as I was driving back from Long Island, I didn't even know Alex's name. I said, if I see this guy again, I got to just spark up a conversation, get him on. And sure enough, here we are. So it's an honor to have you.
Well,
thanks for your service, man. And
I know. Thank you for your service.
No. You guys, I admire you guys, and welcome home. You didn't really get that where we did.
No, we sure.
You guys deserved it. You guys were harder than woodpecker lips, brother. You guys were. I mean, it really are. You went through a lot of shit. You fought, and you didn't have any support here. And I get the politician side of it. Believe me, I with some of the stuff I went through, and Ian can tell you about that offline. But how the politicians, it doesn't matter which side you're on, they're going to leave. They leave soldiers and sailors and airmen out to dry a lot, and you guys were left out there, but you still fought and you did well. I think you guys kicked ass, my opinion. And so if that's any consolation, the guys that served after you, we all think you guys tore it up. You guys did awesome. So thank you, brother. You guys were amazing.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. And I was telling him about when we were going to training in Camp Lejeune, and so we were getting a ride home with some of the guys that lived up our way. You know, some guys live in Massachusetts, Jersey, Connecticut, New York, and so they would tell us before we left Camp Lejeune. They said, "Listen, don't wear a uniform."
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Don't wear your civvies.
I heard that a lot,
especially if you have to meet guys at Penn Station or Grand Central or something like that in New York. They said, do not wear your uniform. You know, but and that's the bad thing about it, and and they gave us a bad rap, man. You know, we only do.
And that wasn't, you guys should. I don't want to want you all and any other your Vietnam veterans or listening out there to think that, and I don't think you do, but I want you guys to know on the outsider and as a supporter and a fan of the Vietnam veterans, I am. You should never feel like you were an outsider or you didn't have the support. You didn't have support of some shit bags out there. You dirt bags, so what? Who gives a shit? Who wants our support anyway? You got support of guys that would stand next to you and fight with you. And that's why I said I admire the hell out of you, because you guys really had to suck it up, and then you had to come home and suck it up even more, which made it worse. But you guys still did it, and you did it with a lot of class. You really did. You guys were awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think about one thing I didn't like was when anyway.
Are you thinking like Jane Fonda, like that type of
stuff?
No.
But this Peace with Honor, man.
I think he was portrayed in the Forrest Gump movie. The guy that wore the flag shirt, he wore that flag shirt all the time. He was a very, very big Vietnam protester at the time.
Yeah. But and the thing about it is still I think a lot more could have been done. But to lose 57,000 guys.
Yeah.
That's a whole generation, of young men, that were lost.
No, it is. It's tons. And the thing is, just from a historian, because I am a historian, maybe I'm a veteran, but I'm not a veteran of that war by any means. But studying it and looking at it, it could have been avoided if a more aggressive approach would have been brought at the beginning.
Sure.
when we try, and we didn't learn from Vietnam. We tried to do nation building. We tried to do. We tried to do it when in our wars, my generation's wars with the global war on terror. We did the same thing. It's like, dude, that shit doesn't work. Look, but politicians don't care. They don't give two shits. They just
I guess they don't care, especially if it's not their kids.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, the thing that I'd like to make sure we get in here, you told me actually when we were outside and I FaceTime Kris, you said, I didn't volunteer. Pretty much none of us volunteered. We all got drafted.
I
would love to hear the story.
I would.
Out of high school.
Yeah.
What happened? How did this all come about?
Well, with me, I played football and basketball.
Awesome.
And so and so I had the scholarship of the Boston College. And so I said, well, okay, my basketball coach didn't want me to play football. So I said, no, coach, don't worry about it. I'll be okay. Sure enough, I got hurt playing football.
Sure enough.
So my basketball coach, he was all in my ear, and I said, listen, I called my mother and father. I said, listen, I'm gonna leave school because I'm getting too much flack about getting hurt, And so my father said, well, do what you got to do. And so I said, okay. So I came home. I wasn't even out of school 3 months and got a draft notice.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. My father said, "Wow, how stupid is that? How stupid is that?" Yeah, man. And so, like I was telling him, I said, and when I went up to New Haven, I think it was about 100 and some guys that went up there for physical. Up in New
That's
Haven.
where you're like in processing and all that goes on. You're like what you call MEPS. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then from there, and then it was like 2-3 weeks later, we had to go down to the induction center, 34th Street Induction Center down in New York.
Wow.
And it was like about 300 guys down there.
What did they look like, bro? Because I can't even imagine. I mean, I volunteer. I'm in a volunteer. My generation was a volunteer, all volunteer army. Were guys just shitting on themselves? Were they just? I mean, deer in the headlights look. Were they pale? Were they mostly?
No, I mean, these guys. Some of these guys was just, like they said, well, look, I don't want to go, but if I got to go, I got to go.
Okay.
And so that's what it is. And so they said, well, hey, I don't know anybody in Canada. I have no family in Canada.
I'm not a son of a politician. I can't.
Yeah, man. That kind of thing. And so it was ridiculous. Like, they were saying when we were there, because I volunteered for the Navy. I said, you know what? If I got to go, I want something nice and sweet. Put me out on the water. Yeah, man. I might even get a tan out here, man.
That's funny.
A lot of guys, like one of the Marine Corps, it was a lieutenant, came up. He said, "Well, listen," he said, "I need 60 good men. Everybody step back."
Oh yeah,
nobody want to go Marine Corps, And so they said, every third person step forward. So they took every third person, boom, you're now a Marine. You're going to be a Marine, and that's what that was. And so they marched us to Penn Station, man, us who are going to Great Lakes.
Sure, yeah, you're still going to Michigan out there to Great Lakes.
Yeah, Great Lakes, Illinois. Yeah, and it's still there for East Coast, what have you.
I know. Yeah. Man, that's that's actually, I think, the main training. I always say Michigan. I don't know why I say that, but yeah, it's north of Chicago, up there.
Yeah, Chicago. And
that's the only place out there. What was basic training? I always love to hear these stories because your basic trainings were nut busters. I mean, compared to the politically correct basic training now, and how was it?
Yeah, but I was up there. During I went up in September.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
And September. Yeah, it wasn't bad. But October, November was something else, man. It was crazy. It was like snow and, and it was as cold as stink, and what have you, man. And so when I graduated from boot camp, I came home with walking pneumonia.
Oh.
We lost one guy who died there with pneumonia from boot camp.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's crazy. And so you got these master at arms who go out and make sure everybody's stuff is correct and everything. Sure. And so we did a forced washing clothes where we had everybody wash their clothes at the same time. And then we had it lined up where we would just pass the clothes down the line. And we had guys outside, as cold as it was, hanging them up. And
that's what's awesome about that. People don't realize the teamwork that you're forced to. And I know your basketball. I played sports through college myself. Actually, I played football in college myself, but played basketball. And it gives you a leg up on it. But brother, the teamwork that you have to get things done, or everybody feels the pain from the drill sergeants. And people don't realize that you do it, and it don't matter who's what. It doesn't make a difference. You're just trying to work together, and you get efficient, really efficient. Yeah, I can imagine, man.
Yeah, but Steve, what's so nice about it is well, after I left there, because matter of fact, what they told me before I graduated, said, well, you have two choices. You can become a corpsman, or you can join the Seabees. And I said, the corpsmen are knocking them off too easy in Vietnam. I said, man, look, let me go with the Seabees, man. What are they doing? He said, construction. I said, I'll take that.
Little did you know that you're going to be building bases over there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering what was it like then going from that into a combat area? I mean, for the first time, a young kid. And you were telling me your brother as well, right?
Yeah. My brother, after I did my first tour of Vietnam, as I was on my way back home, my brother was on his way there. Matter of fact, he was He was drafted, and so he went into the 101st.
Yeah, if you're on the Army side, the airborne guys, the Screaming Eagles side. So,
yeah. And so, like, I said, well, you had a nice, easy job, man. You was a door gunner on a Huey, you know. He was a door gunner on a Huey.
Okay,
you know. All
right, so he was cap. He was air cap.
Audience.
Yeah,
and for the audience, as you said, he did come back in one.
Yeah,
piece,
he came back in one piece, a little whacked out, but he came back, you know.
So what was it like though? That first deployment, first time being in combat. What's that like?
Yeah, well, you know, I think the first thing you do is like when you go into another country, it's the smell. You know what I'm saying? They said, this don't smell like home. No, you know what I'm saying? You know, and that's the first thing.
And you said you came off that. Did you take a 130, the whole C-130?
The C-130 all the way, man. We stopped. I forgot. It's in the book. We stopped at Guam. We stopped at Wake. All these different places. Yep. We island hopped all the way there.
Sure, you're just doing hops.
And then what happened is like when we got to Wake, so we had a problem with the aircraft, and so they said, well, listen, okay, but you guys, we're going to put you guys. We're going to give you guys liberty for a couple of hours, you know, and the MPs will come out and let you guys know when it's time to come back. We weren't even in town 45 minutes before it was bar fights everywhere. This general said, get their asses back to the damn tarmac. We had to sit on a tarmac until they fixed the aircraft. Wow. You know, by the rest of it, man, you know, but you know how guys are. They're going overseas to fight. They don't know what's going to happen, you know. So they said, well, listen, this might be the last drunk.
So what's because I want to make sure you get into this, like getting into that combat environment. What was that like?
It was kind of strange, you know, because like, you know, as soon as we got off, you know, and that's when they started giving us our weapons and stuff like that. And we already had our bedrolls and all our stuff, our sea bags and stuff. And so like, they showed us where our area was and stuff. And then, you know, they started, you know, getting us together exactly what our job was, what we were going to do, you know, and different guys, like me being a heavy equipment operator, you know, so like all of us, the heavy equipment operators were together, the builders were together, the electricians were together, you know, everybody had their own company, you know, their own company was separated. And so, and then in between that, you know, they said, well, listen, we need 5 guys to go such and such a place. We need 10 guys to go here. You know what I'm saying? So they were separating us. And so like a lot of these guys that I went over with, I didn't see them until it was almost time for us to come back to the States.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, because we were all separated. Even though we went there as a unit, you know, a battalion and a company and all of that, but they still sent.
And is that normal? I mean, and I'm not an engineer. I wasn't a CB or nothing like that. But that's normal since you guys specialize in specific things, heavy equipment or light equipment or demolition or whatever. Is that usually? And that's what I usually saw. But I guess I'm just trying to get confirmation. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Is they just specialize and you get attached to different units that aren't particularly your unit?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because I was attached to a Marine unit.
What you're saying. Yep.
Yeah, and this was another Marine unit I was attached to, and they was with the Rock Marines.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, we were matter of fact, I got my first Bronze Star with them, you know, and these guys are crazy, man. Yeah. these Rock Marines are absolute. I mean, these guys 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, they're doing calisthenics, man. Who's doing calisthenics, man, in a war zone 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning? What's the stories, man? You know, they were right near us, man. It was like I think it had to be about maybe 300-400 of them, you know. But they were tough guys. No, man. These guys were tough. Yeah. They didn't take no prisoners.
Well, and honestly, there's empathy that the American people have, but they don't realize the empathy. We're Americans. We need to be empathetic and sympathetic. That's one of our strengths, but it's also a weakness because our enemy uses it against us. And sometimes you have to turn that feeling off because if you don't, then you're not going to win the fight. Then people are going to get killed. And that's why I think guys have a hard time coming back, and even myself coming, because I am a very nice person. I don't want to hurt anybody, but you have to be able to turn that off, because when somebody's trying to hurt you or kill you, well, you can't have that feeling, man.
And see, and the thing about it is like, Steve,
it's Kris, by the way.
No, that's all right. No, it's Steve, Kris, same thing. It's good. It's good.
Kris. But you know what the thing about it is that that all of us came back with a little bit of something.
Oh yeah.
You know, and with me and a few of the guys that are with, we have a PTSD group that we used to meet at our post every Wednesday.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
And so it was good because like we sit down and, you know, we talk about some of the good things and some of the bad things. You know, sometimes it's good to get it out, especially when you're dealing and when you're with guys who done the same thing or went through the same thing that you've gone through.
It's great to say, because we try to get people to all that out there, because there's a lot of guys, there's a lot of men and women out there and that don't want to talk, or they can't talk because they feel it's a sign of weakness. And we always preach that, no, it's the exact opposite. You need to get that out somehow. So that's great.
Yeah. Hey, if you're comfortable talking about it, I mean, is there something you saw in particular that you feel led to post-traumatic stress all these years later?
And brother, I tell you, we have a ton of listeners out there that have been through things, have seen combat, have seen some atrocious things. So you're within a friendly confines here, man. That people believe me, the listeners out there, especially the young kids that want to join, it's something they need to hear, so that prepares them for. Yeah.
But the thing about it is that with the volunteer service, I tell any young kids. Matter of fact, I have a nephew that just matter of fact, this is 6 months in the Marine Corps, and so like. He was asking me, he says, okay. I said, well, listen, I said, make sure that you know what you want to do before you go in, just don't go in there blind. I said, if you're going to go into service, go in to learn something, you know what I'm saying? Not just to go in there to learn how to shoot, or throw a grenade or a 3.5 rocket launcher. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you're going to get too many jobs when you get out. Nobody wants to hire him, but not unless you're a mercenary, something like that. but still, I told him, I said, man, listen, go in to learn a trade, learn something, man, and that's what it is. But I hope these young kids now that are going in to learn something, I mean, it's nice to be a tough guy, you want to be a ranger or you want to be, I mean, hey, but that's good that, to have, I mean, it's just like the guys, even when I was in boot camp, they were trying to get guys who want to go into to be a SEAL. Sure. And I said, SEAL, I said, nah, I don't think so.
Well, and you got to have the want to do it. If you don't want to do that, then you're not going to make it through you're not going to make it through it. Yeah, doesn't matter.
I'm telling you. It's tough. And I know some guys that were in my company, and these were football players, and in high school, and they said, "Oh man, shit, that's no that's all right. I can do this." Shit, they didn't even last 3 weeks.
It's just your mind.
They didn't even last 3 weeks. So they washed up.
I'm wondering though, like from that previous question, if you don't mind, like. What do you think it was that led to that? Was there any like one instance you saw over in Vietnam you still remember to this day? Or and once again,
we're on the same page. I've lost, but I watched two of my friends get blown up with mortars, and I see it. So we're not digging. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But I just want you to know you are in friendly confines here, and somebody that's myself that's seen that before as well.
But the thing about it is like I especially like the few places that I was in, like on the Laotian border.
It's tomato. It's
even and Dong Ha, which they call the rock pile, which is up on the DMZ. Man, we lived like moles up there, man. And they were constantly rocking and mortaring us up there, man. It was crazy because like when we jumped on a plane in Phu to fly up to Dong Ha, the load master will say, listen, when we get to the base, this plane is not going to stop. You're going to have to jump out of this plane. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Out of this plane. And as we were coming in, the rounds was coming through the plane.
Yeah.
And we got two guys that got hit on the plane as we were flying into Dong Ha. And so they, they all this stuff, and then they were back on. They were still on the plane. Plane just we jumped off, and the plane just kept going. The C-130 just kept going.
The hot offloads is what we called it now. And then it just drops the ramp, and you You get out of there.
That's it. Yeah, just get out of there.
Just get out of there.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. But then if you looked in some of the places, and they had some C-130s that were blown up and stuff. They had pushed them off the runway and out of the way, so it wouldn't interfere with other planes coming in and stuff like that. But I mean, it was. As a matter of fact, they were rocketing and mortaring us as we were flying in to Dong Ha. That's how bad that shit was, But like I said, man, I said, well, how do you work out here, man? You can't even get outside. These dudes don't want you to do nothing.
That's with a lot of those bases, man. It was tough with those. From what I understand, those bases always getting mortared and rocketed, and I guess my mindset, and I don't know if yours was the same. Maybe it was, but when we were getting rocketed, and we did get rocketed a lot in Baghdad when we first got there for the 0304, it just became like, I'm tired of running to the bomb shelter. Screw it. If I'm going to get hit, I'm going to get hit. And that's just how it is. You can't live your life running to the bomb shelter. It's like, screw it. I'm done. And I'd be out there running the bomb sirens, the air raid sirens. Yeah. Like, screw it. If it hits me, it hits me. It's 1 in a million.
Yeah, I know, but the thing about it is that it's always when you think you're in a safe place is when you get it,
and that's why you just you just can't live in. I say, guys, don't live in fear. You can't. If I get killed outside walking my dog, so what if I get hit by a car? You can what if all day. It's like, don't think that. Just
we got so many nuts walking the streets here now. Man. It's ridiculous.
Oh man,
that's crazy. But there's more weapons, and that's the thing about it. So many damn weapons in the street here, man. I mean, everybody got a gun. And my wife told me, she says, listen, she says, either your guns go or I go.
Oh, that's
yeah, that's right. That's what she told me. I said, well, honey, I guess the gun's going to have to go. And
we are in Connecticut, which I've said to Kris, this is like the least gun-friendly state.
Yeah, man. And they hate guns here. No, this is not a gun state at all. Connecticut, no.
Well, I'm in Kansas, so we're about the opposite. We're about the opposite of you. I'm in the Midwest, and I'm in a little bitty town. It's just so relaxing, just chilled out here.
Relaxing.
How many? I didn't ask you, but how long was your tour when you were there? And did more than one tour in Vietnam, or was it just the one?
I did 2 tours. My first tour was we went in 66, and we got out the first of 67, and came back to get more men, to regroup and everything like this here. And so my same battalion, all of us who were with the battalion, who the guys who didn't like, who weren't getting out, who were short timers or what have you, they were let go and put into different other units that were, getting ready to get out. And we brought some new guys in and things like that. And then we had to go back down to Camp Lejeune. Each time we come back to the States, we had to go back for 3 months of training at Camp Lejeune.
Okay.
So, to get you ready for another deployment. Sure. And so I did 3 months there and then back, and then another month, and we were back in country.
Did you have to go back, or did you volunteer to go
back? Because I didn't volunteer my unit.
Yeah, I had to go back because you still have time on your contract to finish it. Yeah,
on my contract. Yeah.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying this interview with Alex Hargrove. We certainly enjoyed it, and he really had a blast doing it. He told me himself that it was therapeutic coming on, and that it meant a lot to him, and it made his day. So it made our sure talk.
Tremendous.
So before we get back into that, you hear us talk all the time about Fort Scott Munitions, who also has the greatest merch. I'm wearing my Fort Scott SHOT Show shirt. They had the coolest merch at SHOT Show. That's why everybody was checking out their booth. They had great patches for SHOT Show. Like they really did. They did what a lot of other companies should have done by putting out exclusive merch for that event. It got people excited. But with that, they are the manufacturers of patented match grade ammunition for solid copper and brass SCS SBS rod that is designed to tumble upon impact. TUI, it leaves devastating wound channels in soft tissue for faster bleed out and swift incapacitation. In a climate with increasing demand for tactical readiness, Fort Scott Munitions is expanding to deliver unmatched results to the tactical training industry. FSM training offers live fire ranges, modular simulation ranges, 120 silos for rappelling and facilitating for scenario-based training, which we're very excited about. In partnership with Battleline Tactical, FSM's training's grand opening is launching on May 6th to the 7th via an exclusive copper ticket event. So basically, you guys cannot get in here. You can't buy a ticket. It's just these guys in the industry who are going to be there. However, they're going to have a contest that is an amazing value that you want to check out because you might have the chance to get trained with people like Kris. Yeah, I'll be there.
And it's just fun. We have a good time. And when you come out, if you get the opportunity to come out and meet the guys from Fort Scott Munitions, you'll see they're just normal guys, man. Grew up in rural America, and they really are just genuinely good people, and they want to see people excel, and they want to see people do well because they've done well just by being themselves and putting out a tremendous product. That always helps. So, and you're right on the merch, and that's one thing that's Ryan Kraft over there, and it's smart is that specific merch, and there will be specific merch for this golden ticket course as well. So, and you got to come hang out with me. You'll shoot a little bit. We'll get to learn a little bit. And there'll be other people there as well, like Hank Strange, that you can learn from as well. He's a tremendous shooter. So, guys, try to get that golden ticket one. If not, though, go on the FSM website, check out their merch, and, of course, buy their ammunition. It's the best ammunition in America, by far.
Yeah. So the way that you would get in on this, basically, and this is an exclusive 2-day carbine and pistol course, all inclusive, close to $4,000 worth of FSM TUI ammo, lodging, food, and travel. That's all included. Wow. Order from Fort Scott Munitions from that link right there in the description, and you'll have your chance of getting in on this. And then also, if you want to order any merch, just use the promo code Battleline for 15% off all merch at fortscottmunitions.com. Of course, we're also going to let you know about the greatest night vision out there. Really excited, actually, for a couple of weeks. I have to look at the schedule. A couple of weeks from now, we got Justin Sheehan coming on, Navy SEAL. He does great work for Photonist. And Photonist, there's so many special ops guys who stand behind their stuff. It's the best in the industry. So they're the global leader in night vision solutions, providing more high-quality night vision capabilities than anyone. Hunters, shooters, boaters, and outdoor enthusiasts rely on Photonist defense systems to make their adventures safer and more successful. Military, law enforcement, and public safety end users utilize Photonist defense solutions to give them the edge at night in tactical situations and rescue operations. Photonist Defense is now offering state-of-the-art night vision systems from the PD Pro B 16mm binocular and the PD Pro M 16mm monocular to the PD Pro Q panoramic night vision system. Customers from all over are excited about these new, smaller, lighter NVGs. You've got to see these things to really experience how much smaller and lighter they are than anything you've used previously. Just go to photonistdefense.com, PHOTONIS defense.com for more information, or look for Photonist Defense product options from your night vision dealer. I know you guys are enjoying this interview too much, so we're going to get right back into it. Alex Hargrove. That second deployment must have been with the Tet Offensive.
Yeah, right. That's my second. That was my second deployment. And the thing about it is, like, I said, well, shit, this is going to be great, man. We're going to be down in Red Beach in Da Nang, man. You know, I said, this is nowhere near hostile country. Sure enough, no. Hey, man, we need a few guys to go up to Phu Bai, man. And so I'm right back to where I was my first tour, you know, back up there in the jungle, man, you know. And so it was crazy. And then all of a sudden, that's when the Tet Offensive broke out, you know, 68.
I know.
And so we were there, and I said, man, it was crazy. It was really wild, man, because we were trying to help the guys out who were in because we were in Phu Bai. That was our rear. But Way was the city.
Yeah, Way City.
Yeah, and so like, and the thing about, I don't know who this general was. He was talking about they didn't want to destroy Way because it was such a beautiful country. Yeah, it was
the religious historical buildings and stuff. It was I know the general. I studied a lot of that. I actually Way way in the Tet Offensive was something that I had a lot of interest in studying and trying to learn. And I can't remember, but I do remember that as well. Again, it's our empathy. It's our enemies. They don't give a shit. They
don't give a shit. But they were knocking us off left and right.
They were. Well, for those that don't know it out there, that was a ceasefire that we had an agreement with our enemy. But of course, what did they do? Well, they violated that ceasefire. It's our empathy that our enemies use against us. It's a good strength to have as Americans, but our enemies know that. The terrorists would do that all the time too. They used our empathy to attack and used it against us, man. And it's just a fine line that you have to play. But when that happened, and did you guys have to go in after? Because you're being in a CB and working with engineers. Did you have to do? And did you see anything after when you went in? I know you got to clean up and you're going to.
Oh, sure, we did, because first of all, we were supposed to be helping with we had I forgot what it was, like a canal, and they had like these river boats or whatever it is that to bring in bring in equipment, man, like ammunition and stuff like this here and stuff. And so it got so hot, man. They said, the hell with this, man. We got to get some of these guys out of some of these wounded out of here. And so anybody who wanted, we volunteered for stretcher bearers, to go in and bring guys out, get guys out of there, and get them back, and stuff. And so it was just crazy, you're ducking and dodging incoming and everything else, to help get these guys to get them some medical help. So those are things that you don't forget, man. One guy, man, half his head was blown off, man. He says, man, cuz how am I doing? I said, man, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right, man. And you don't want to never tell somebody that you don't look good for you. You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to tell a guy that is not gonna make it, that he's going to make it?
Well, and that's another strength of Americans and the soldiers and airmen and Marines, is that we always are going to believe that we're in the fight, even when it's like the worst case scenario. We're not going to say, no, you're going to die. No, we're not. We're not going to tell you, because we're always in the fight. And I think you kind of still live that to this day, as far as what Ian and telling me and for me, I don't know, you're out walking your dog or something when Ian found you out there.
Yeah.
Your dog was off the leash.
But you know what the thing about it is that I purchased this dog for my wife who passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry.
And so the thing about it is, she said she had triple bypass and everything like this. And so she always said, honey, I always want a dog. I always want a dog. And I said, okay, honey. I said, she was in St. Vincent's Hospital up in Bridgeport. And so I said, look, don't worry about it. I'm going to get you a dog. And so I went to Puppies of Westport, and I seen this cute little dog, man. I said, well, listen, this dog doesn't shed enough. I don't want a dog to shed, man. I want a cool dog, man. I don't want hair all over my place, man. And so she would say, they said, no, the dog knows she doesn't shed or anything. I said, that's beautiful. I said, well, how dog? Jesus, this dog is going to just stay this size, maybe a little bit bigger. I said, great. 10-pound dog. That's what I want.
Oh, it's so funny to see this. Yeah. To me, this badass CV Vietnam veteran, and you have this tiny little dog. It's kind of like our friend Drew Dwyer, who passed away with this tiny little dog. It's such a cute dog.
But this is the first small dog I've ever had. I've always had big dogs. I had Dobies. I had a Doberman Pinscher. I had a Newfoundlander when I was up. I was up in Argentina, Newfoundland. Wow. I was up there. Yeah, and I had a Newfoundlander. This dog weighed about 200 pounds.
Beautiful dogs. But
beautiful dogs, man. They slop all over you, all over.
It's gonna shed and slop all over you.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, but this dog here, I'm telling you, man. And I got to love this dog. My wife was crazy about this dog. And so even to the very end, this dog, she would just stay on. My wife would tell her, "Mommy, look, Mommy's not feeling well. Don't lay on Mommy's stomach." And so she would go down and lay on her feet, that kind of thing. Like she knew exactly what the story was. And even up until lately, man, the dog comes in and she looks upstairs to see if my wife is looking,
man.
So I guess it takes dogs a while to
Well,
think about, the register.
Yeah, they're smart. Dogs and dogs feel. I think a lot of animals feel. Some guys may disagree with me, but animals feel, especially dogs, especially pets. Did you meet your wife when you were in, or that's what I wanted to ask? I guess getting. I know we're getting close on time, so I know we're kind of skipping some stuff. But I did want to know. Yeah, did you meet your wife when you were in? Were you high school sweethearts, or did you meet her after you were? I mean, how'd that?
This was my second wife. My first wife, she passed away of a heart.
Oh wow, yeah.
And this is wife number 2.
Okay.
And so we met because I had left. I think I left Connecticut, and so I had I moved to New Jersey, and I had an air freight business out of Newark Airport.
Wow.
And so so I met my wife at a party. And come to find out, she was from New York. She was from Brooklyn.
Okay.
She was a tranny of Trinidadian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I went. A friend of mine asked me to go to. I went to a party, and so that's how I met her, my wife. And so I said, man, these dudes is crazy, man. Dude, you talking about some drinking people, man. These Trinis can drink,
He's saying Trini. I want the audience to say Trini. Just to clarify.
But my wife, she wasn't a drinker or nothing like that. But it's just her family and friends and everybody. They like to party. You know what I'm saying? And, good natured people that they enjoyed life. And so that's what life is all about. And so we started dating, and so. When I sold my business in 2000, and so I told her we were going together. We started going together for, I think it was in 1999.
Okay.
And so we started going together. And so I told her, I said, listen, I'm going back to Connecticut. I'm selling the business. I'm going back to Connecticut. She says, well, I'm going where you're going. I'm going with you, And so she came here to Connecticut. And then her mother and family, everybody lived in Brooklyn. So I said, well, it's not that far. So we jump we jump in the car and then we go to Brooklyn.
It's close.
It's close. Yeah. It's about an hour and change.
Yeah. Did you move into this place here?
Yeah, we had another place. We lived on Perry Avenue.
Because where we live, I'll tell the audience, it's kind of like a funny place because when I had furniture delivered, people are calling me and they're like, I'm at a shopping center. Because we're above a strip mall. And a massage place. So, but then you go upstairs and these are nice apartments. And then the other funny thing, I won't give away where we live because he lives right next to me, but the other funny thing with the mail is our number is 666.
I saw that when you said, I was like, oh my God, that's not a good omen. When I saw your...
My wife, she says, what are you doing? I said, wait a minute. I didn't know what the number was until I came to see the place. You know what I'm saying? But I love the apartment. So she said, you know what? I like the apartment too. But she said, I hope this is not a bad omen.
I would bring a priest over and cleanse your damn apartment.
Yeah, man. I know it, huh? Yeah, purify.
I know.
I want to ask you one last thing because I know, as we said, we're short on time. You got a doctor's appointment. But I was just thinking about this. You being a Connecticut guy, and we don't get too political here or anything, but I just remember this, and this might be in your mind. I remember when the senator here, Richard Blumenthal ran for Senate, he was out there campaigning saying, I'm a Vietnam veteran.
Right.
And it turned out he wasn't. And he said, well, I'm Vietnam era. Did that piss you off?
It pissed me off. And it pissed off a lot of guys from my post too. And my Vietnam post. And none of these guys, they said, listen, don't even mention his name in this post. Which is bad because why would you say that, that you were a Vietnam vet and you never even had a uniform on? Come on.
Politicians are, in my opinion, they're the scum of the earth, man. They say or they do whatever they need to get elected. And I can't even imagine what the Post got you guys at the Post were going through when he said that. It's just, it's completely disrespectful. And they don't respect us. And they say they do at face value and to get them votes, but for the most part, their actions speak otherwise the majority of the time. So brother, I feel you, man. I guess I did have one last thing too. We're getting, and again, thank you for coming on, man, in short notice, brother. I appreciate it. But we do have guys men and women have guys out there that are thinking about joining the military. And I guess any advice you could give them, like you did already, hey, find a job, get something you like. But some of these guys, the global war on terror is kind of over for the most part, but I don't see it ever ending. So people may be,
it's always
something. You know, the Ukrainian stuff, and God forbid we hope we don't send troops to that and get involved with that.
Please.
But what do you tell guys that if they do, and they do see something overseas, they go to combat, they leave, can you give some advice before they leave and then some advice when they come back home? Is there anything, any tidbits, golden nuggets of information?
I would say to like, especially guys that, like are going over and they have to go over, and matter of fact, get into a situation where it has to be a war zone or something like that. Make sure that, if you feel like something's not right, get some help.
Okay.
Seek some help, man. Get some friends, or find a friend, man, that you can confide in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they can help you and point you into the right direction, to get some help. Good. Because that's the worst thing, especially you hear about all these guys coming back from war and taking their own life.
Yeah.
Which is wrong, man. Like you survive a war zone and then you come back and you take yourself out, And I think that's crazy. And the thing about it is like you should be able to find some help, find somebody that you can confide in, so that don't happen to you, man. So you don't get into that situation. That's what I like about the PTSD group. It's because like we all, we talking these things out, and we have psych doctors that we can go to, that the VA sets you up with a psych doctor,
Sure.
And like I said, and the thing about it don't have to be about drugs.
Yeah.
It could be something else.
Yeah. Just talk. Yeah. And brother, mindset before going over, mindset before what would you suggest? And my suggestion is, guys, just accept it. You're signing up, accept that it might be there, and then just hey, suck it up. And I know, but I don't say suck, but just you got to go, go, and just surround yourself with the best people that you can, and just hey, I got to go. This is what, and it sounds like that's what you guys thought. Hey, we got to go.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, let's go do it.
But like I said, it's a different thing being drafted and to volunteer.
Sure.
Because volunteering it makes it more easier for you to say, well, listen, this is what I volunteer.
Sure, it does. Yeah, I agree with you. I completely agree.
Yeah. But the draft, and I think that's the reason why they had stopped the draft. I don't think they'll ever bring the draft back.
But it would take a World War III to do it, and I don't think we need to bring a draft back. You need an all-volunteer army, guys. They need to go.
Dedication. You need people who are really dedicated to what they're doing. And that's what that
excellent
is, If somebody says, look, you got to go, no, man, I didn't ask to do this. Somebody volunteered me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't volunteer. They volunteered me.
Yeah. Well, you guys are hard as nails, man, and I appreciate your service. Again, welcome home, and all the Vietnam vets out there. And tell your guys at your post, Kris says welcome home. The Ranger says I got a lot of respect for all y'all. So God bless you, brother, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I mean, all news isn't bad news.
Never.
We have some good news too.
It made it convenient too. I kind of cornered you because I was like, you literally just have to walk.
Well, see, this is you're good. Then this will be more. This will be it's gonna be our regular, man. You're gonna hey, you want to come back on the show for 30 minutes? We got you right there. You're screwed now. Ian lives right next to you, and he will knock on your door and get you on the show.
I know. He knows where
he knows where you live. Well, thanks, brother. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you very much for having me, guys, and I appreciate this.
Yes, sir.
And this was therapeutic to me also. Anytime you get a chance to talk about things that were bad or even good, it sort of makes you feel better. It really makes my day. And that's one thing, like I said, about like the PTSD groups, man. And like my wife used to say, she says, you know what, you're like a different person when you come back from these meetings, man. You're not all you want to be by yourself.
Yeah.
You're all open. You can, I never talk war to her.
Sure.
I never talk war to her because she always knew that. She says that when I felt like I wanted to be by myself, and she would let me be by myself.
That's a good partner. That's a good that understand you understand each other.
Yeah.
And that's but you're right, brother. I being antisocial, and being by yourself all the time. I mean, there are times I want to too, but being by it always is not good. It's not good.
It's not good.
You got to you got to talk. This is therapeutic for me. Just doing the podcast once a week with Ian, it does help me. Very therapeutic. So, man, awesome to hear it.
You know, usually when we have someone on, we're like, oh, where could we find you on social media and all that? And I know you don't do all that. But if there's someone who happens to be listening who's maybe like, I remember this guy. There might be an old Vietnam guy who
maybe.
But you know, there a way people can
But you know what, Ian? The thing about it is like, I have a lot of the guys that a few guys that I was stationed with in MCB 62 and did two tours together. Some of them live in Massachusetts. Yeah. Some live in Florida. They're all over the country. Some of these guys. That's what I mean. If any of them happen to be listening,
you know what? Here, do this, bro.
Anywhere people track down.
Give a shout out to your post, man. Wherever your VFW post.
I like to give a shout out to my post here in Darien. It's 9633. Guys, you know, if anybody of you guys are listening, man, come by and come and visit us, man. You know, we're there all the time, man. You know,
that's perfect.
Yeah, come by and see us.
Good deal. Get up.
Thank you.
We're proud to have you.
We really appreciate it. Thank you again.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Brother, thank you very much. I enjoyed this, man. Like I said, this was very therapeutic
so
for me.
I really appreciate you doing it. So.
Thank you.
That's all for this episode of the Battleline Podcast. But we'll be back on Monday with more American Straight Talk. Until then, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Battleline Podcast and on Twitter at Battleline Pod. To sign up for future Battleline tactical courses, go to www.kristantoparanto.net. Believe in yourself, face all challenges head on, and as always, never quit.